Okay, well, so I'm not going to get derailed by this, but for reasons unknown, um, the camera just decided to quit recording um, while I was talking. So I had to go back and see where the last one ended. I wasn't intending to do two intro practice videos. So, anyway, all part of the learning curve, and I'm going to keep going. So, what I was doing before was talking about how if I were backed up against a wall, all of my resonance has disappeared. So now I'm back to practicing again. So I did a little warm-up session. Throw in a little karachi. It says it's still recording, so I'm going to trust it. So now I'm going to take it down a little because I feel like I'm rushing those accented texts right there. And then I might cycle between the two different types of Arabic finger rolls that I play. There should be little difference in sound, but when I first was learning to play this style, I didn't have access to teachers. So, and this was way back in the day. We did not have YouTube. I had a really terrible VHS tape on how to play this kind of drum. I look back at it now and laugh because the guy, very nice seeming man. I don't know where he learned to play, but I don't think he actually knew how to play. So, but he, he had the ambition and desire and made a technique video and profiled a few other ethnic drums that now, after knowing what I know and seeing how he played this technique, I don't know if he knew how to play any of those other techniques either. But anyway, so when I first started playing, I had my rudimental background, my drum line, and all the other stuff background, audio recordings, and occasionally seeing somebody who knew what they were doing, but only for a second. So I didn't know how rolls work. Most of us who learned before we had access to instruction or videos were kind of winging it. The very first thing I did was I was playing rolls on the dominant hand, and I think I was playing it on both. Kind of this, yeah, I have trouble even replicating it now. So I was doing something of that nature. It was in time, it was rudimental, it was clear, obviously not very strong. But, my friends thought it was cool. It's one of those things that if you're surrounded by people who also don't know, if they don't know what they know, none of you know what you know, then everything seems cool if you can pull it off. But later I realized that traditionally the rolls go up here for classical Arabic. And then but I didn't know which fingers got used for what. So I taught myself with these two instead of, it should be, oh goodness, it should be these. It should be a pointer and ring finger. Okay, now I'm paranoid that it's going to cut off like it did last time. I have no idea what cut that off. So depending on my mood or how fast the thing is, or how I'm playing that day, I might play either one. So that's with these two here. And then the traditional. So sometimes when I'm warming up, I might warm up on both of them. So that was alternating both of them. And when I'm looking in the camera and I'm listening, I can't even tell which ones I'm doing. So that's probably a good sign that they're done well. Sometimes I'll switch to the two closer together fingers, just because there's less drag. And when I've asked some of the teachers that I like studying with, if what they think about that, they're always generally geared toward come back to these two because there's more strength spread out across the hand, and we're using our tech finger. I'm sorry, our cough finger. Oh. So, yeah, but honestly, I'll revert to my old one when I'm playing fast. So I'll usually warn my students, if you're learning from scratch, I would advise, traditional, these two. These two. All right. So I'm also learning what shows up in a camera. Ideally, I'm going to learn how to zoom way in so we can get better pictures of hands. But at this point in time, I don't know how to do that. So, and there will be no editing of these ones at the beginning because, like I said, I don't even have the software. I don't know how to use it. So these are very rough cuts. So I'm just warming up. And I might vary the speed. A lot of times I'll slow it down, not because it's too fast, but because I'll slow something down so that I can focus on a certain technique that I might be playing a little sloppy. Sometimes I'll do it just so I can transition to a different rhythm that I might want to play a little more slowly. And then a really good exercise is to take whatever you're playing and slow it down to the point where it's almost uncomfortable to play that slow. So it really forces you to hone in on timing. I'm still checking the camera because I'm like, what if it quit an hour ago? It's like, are you still there? So slowing way, way, way down forces you to hone in on timing, make sure you have all the space between the notes, and then actually really listen to the techniques. Some of the techniques that we play are easier to play at a faster speed, but if you start out too fast, then you can get a little sloppy. So, and then I might test out pops. So if I wasn't practicing in front of a camera like I am right now, then I would be practicing in front of a mirror. Ideally, I'd have a mirror right same spot where the camera is so I can see what my hands are doing. And I recommend that for my students as well. And then I'll try different intensities of pops. So a little sloppy there. And it's summer, it's a little warm, so it's a little kind of grabby, a little sticky. But nice little backup pop there. Nice sharp cabaret sounding pop. I'm down to a minute of where it cut off last time, so we're gonna find out if the 11.5 minute mark is all that this camera will do. And then after the slow stuff, I'll start working on double caws, something with a double caw. I'm waiting for it to cut off. We'll see. I don't know if I said the magic word last time. Okay, we're gonna see. We're on the countdown. Goodbye, everybody. 2 seconds. No. Okay. So I don't know what happened last time. I don't know if I said the magic word. If there's like a remote start and stop. Some softer pops there. And so now I'm starting to feel a little tension up in my left shoulder. And back here, a little there, a little here. So when I'm so left arm, little tired. Take the double caws out. So that first finger roll, that little fill, I dragged a little, so then I switched back to these two. And then if I'm just jamming, just playing just to play, I'll switch between different sounds, different textures, musical phrases. So now I'm noticing that my pops are starting to separate a little bit, which is one of my tendencies. So fingers should be together for those. And there's a raging debate about where the thumb should be, up or down, and I've had teachers adamantly yell at me one way or the other because they felt that strongly about it. So my default is, if I'm shooting for a really poppy cabaret style sound, is that I'll shoot for that thumb down, because one of my earliest teachers was really about, this shape, that sound, which I still like, but I understand the ones doesn't look quite as cool, but it's also, you kind of eliminate that movement here. A lot of what we do in this style really is economy of motion. So sometimes just tweaking one little angle, something that you're doing, makes a big difference over the long haul if you're going to play a whole concert. So if I'm getting tired after, warming up a couple minutes to Malfouf, what's that going to look like in a 45-minute show, 3-hour show? So I feel like I've done enough damage for now. This is part 2 of my very first rough cut warm-up video. If you happen to come across this and you're still here, if you have questions about any of the techniques I did, feel free to leave a comment. Or, yeah, let's start there. I haven't put links to anything. Maybe I will. I mean, eventually I will. I can be reached for lessons. I do teach online and in person, depending where you're located and where I'm located at the time. I do teach in person as well. So, but as far as warm up, I feel warm. It's still recording, so whatever fluke thing happened the first time hasn't this time. And if I'm lucky, I'll get to upload both of these suckers off into the ether of, maybe, it's an exercise for me and hopefully not a chore for you. But thank you. Any questions, stick them below. And my hope and hopeful promise is that these will get better over time, because that's the whole purpose of this. So, all right, signing off for now. Till next time.